Our topic this morning is the beginner's guide to getting started as a graphic designer. For our speaker for today, he is the promising member of Scinettek. He has 10 years of work experience as a graphic designer. Currently, he is a senior web developer, I mean web designer. So please welcome Mr. Ian Manggubat. Good morning, sir. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. Thank you, FJ.
Okay, sir.
So let's start the presentation. I will share my screen so I can show you the slides I prepared. Can you see the slide? A second. Okay. So let's start with the questions. Why are we here? So probably you lost your job because of the pandemic, or you want to change your career, or maybe you already have a design job but struggling to make ends meet. So, or maybe you want to have that big payday, you wanna make that money. So today I will share to you my process and my journey on how I got my first client on Upwork. And now I cannot promise you that after this talk, you will get your first client or get a big payday, but at least I can get you ready for this uphill battle. And then I will also share to you how I compute my rate, my hourly rate, and then my for the fixed project. And lastly, I will also teach you how to create a portfolio website without spending a single peso, and then have to say, Mama, I made it. I am a web designer now. See that? So first, let me introduce myself. I am Ian Manggubat. I am a graphic designer, a UI and web designer. So I have more than 10 years of experience. Just like you, I started from the bottom. I started as a wedding album designer, then a graphic designer in a local printing shop here, making birthday designs and then death notes. I mean, the ones that you see on funeral vigil. Making 160 pesos per day. So imagine that. So I'm a follower of the work-life balance philosophy. This seems impossible, but I will teach you how to reach these goals. Work at your own time, work anywhere, or work less than 4 hours. Just like this guy, you can work in the beach. So let's begin and how you should start and what are the things that you need. First, you have to select your niche. You have to select your path. You wanna get the blue pill or the red pill. So as a designer, you can select by creating ads or creating websites, poster, or other things that you can create. But at least you have to focus on one skill and category. Second, you have the right skills, and then you have to have the portfolio. You have to have a solid portfolio. And lastly, the most important, the mindset, because it's not easy. It's harder than you thought, and then you don't want to end up like this guy getting frustrated after getting rejected on his job applications. So I already have like a high paying job. I got it from onlinejobs.ph. I am employed for more than 4 years. But last year, I got bored because of the recurring projects. And then I decided to create my Upwork account, though I was already a member before in Odesk, but I got banned because I was inactive. So I created a new account on Upwork last year. Creating is easy, but getting approved is not. It's because of the large amounts of freelancers on Upwork. So after 3 months, I was approved. It was October last year, and I did not take it seriously because, yeah, I have a job. So I was also procrastinating. I am being complacent because, again, I have a full-time job. It is a high-paying job. So, and then this year, when the pandemic happens, I have nothing to do, and we are not allowed, since we are not allowed to go out. That's when I started to filling up the information on my profile, then started sending the applications. I think that was February. So this is where you have to have the right mindset. First, you have to set your goal, like Pong TB, Millionaire's Mind. So first, my goal was just getting my first client and then getting feedbacks, because if you are starting in Upwork, feedback is greater than profit. So if getting your first client on Upwork is your first goal, you have to forget about the money. If you're doing this for the love of money, then you are bound to fail. For me, that's the wrong mindset. I couldn't remember how many times I got rejected, but I kept going. Just trust the process. I got my first client in May for just $40. After the job, I got no feedback and no star. So that was a little bit disappointing. By the last week of June, or I think July, I got a $100 project, not a huge amount, but I was too excited. And then I accepted the job immediately without reading the project scope. So it was a rookie mistake. Later, I found out that I have to create more than 10 pages for just $100. So I renegotiated the client and told them that I need at least $1,500 for this project, and I can finish it in a week. But they said that they don't have that kind of budget because they are only students and a small startup. So they offer me $500 instead. So I told them, if we're going to do this, then at least both of us will benefit. So I said, I will do this, but we need to split the $500 into 5 projects. So it means $100 every project. So I have now secured 5 feedbacks. Remember, feedback is greater than profit in the early stage of your Upwork career. Ah. So fast forward today, I have now 4 clients. It sends me project regularly, and still have my full-time job without really working 8 hours a day. Sometimes I just say good morning and slack. So now I have already reached my first goal. My second goal was getting my top-rated badge, and I set a timeline that I have to get it by December, but surprisingly, it came earlier than expected. I received it by last month. The main point on that is you have to focus on your goal, and then profit will follow. Just trust the process, and remember, it is not easy. So right now, you might be wondering what happened to the times that I was not getting any response from my job applications. I just shared you the winning moments of my Upwork journey. So when I started sending applications, I was just using my old Flickr account to show my designs samples. Remember, your portfolio will play a big role on how you get your job, because again, you don't have any feedbacks from Upwork. You're just getting started. So my advice, if you're just getting started as a graphic designer and you don't have any sample designs, try to first work on your local printing shops, or if you have plenty of time, try to redesign some tarpaulin designs you see along the way, along the street. So, or maybe you help your friends' online business. Treat them as your first clients. No pressure, you have creative freedom, and because it is free, no string attached. So, so let's start with, yeah. Since I have already a lot of design samples, I still not did not get positive response immediately. So I asked myself why. So I went back to the drawing board. I was thinking I need to create my own site, though I already have a website before, but I did not renew it. My domain was I was just using my Flickr account. So I was thinking maybe the clients were not amazed because I claimed that I can create websites, but I don't have one. So Flickr is like a website where you can just upload your pictures and show it to clients. It's like a Facebook album. So then I created my website in Webflow. It was quick and free. I will show you later on how to do it. So after 2 weeks of sending, still no response. I already have my website. So I reevaluated my strategy and then get back to the drawing board. So I was asking myself again, it was probably my proposal. Then I edited my whole proposal, sending it for 2 weeks, still got no response. So back to the drawing board again. I realized my proposal was poorly written by me. I admit, no habla Ingles. So I hired a content writer. Surprisingly, and it was just 300 pesos. Now, with the proposal written by a poet and the new understanding that I need to always customize my proposal on every client, after a week of sending, I got my first client. I mean, I think that's the second. So the point is, if you're not good at something, ask for help or maybe hire someone to do it. And then always customize your job proposals. We will discuss it about it later. So do not send generic templates. And that's the first part of the program today. So remember, feedback over profit. And if something is not working, maybe you are doing it wrong. Always reevaluate and then go back to the drawing board. Now, let's talk about money. So I will teach you the basic formula on how to compute the price. So this is the pricing. This is my formula. So your rate, you should always add margin for negotiation. So example, 1 second. So for example, you have a $10 rate. So always add like at least $3 to $5 for negotiation. So if your clients will negotiate to $12, then that's still a win. And then times the estimated time on the project equals the fixed price. So remember also to add the taxes, the fees, and other deductions. So like in Upwork, they charge you 20% of the project. So remember that rate times time equals price. But remember, price at your own risk. If you think you are worth $20 per hour, then why not? It's just a matter on how you will convince your client that you are worth $20. But always remember your priority and goals. Is this for the feedback, for the beers, or to put food on the table? For me, after I analyze the job post, and if I am confident that I can do the job with flying colors, then I price it more than my usual rate. It's like do or die. So if my rate is example $5, I will rate it $20 because I know that I can do the job. So that's the pricing for me. So guys, if you have questions on pricing and other upper questions, you can just type it and I can answer it while before we proceed to the next topic. Uh, the next topic is creating proposal. So basically, this is the my proposal. The first part, the first line is greetings, and then you have to mention about something about the project or about the problem. And then this part, because this part is the only line that your clients will see on their inbox or email. So imagine getting thousands of applications every day. So you should greetings and then you have to mention about something about the project. Feedback, feedback. So on the second line, you need to add the URL. It's like getting the attention of your clients. So as I've said, they are receiving at least 100 every day. So if you get their attention on the first glance of the email, then that might be a better chance of getting hired. Then this is for the short description of your expertise about you. And then for this part, you should explain on how will you solve the problem. I'm just gonna show you this. This might explain well. Remember, this is your client receiving a lot of email every day. So here, you have to get their attention. And then for this one, you have to show your expertise. On this part, explain how to solve the problems and what's your process. Uh, your client doesn't care about your personal life or favorite colors. They just want to know if you can solve the problem. That's it. And the last part, you have to add a call to action. Maybe ask them what's their Skype, what's their email, and then when is the best time to contact them. It's like this, guys. So after that, one second. So this is what I do. So remember that I said that you have to select your niche. So before I was a graphic designer, but still that skill, I still use that skill for other projects. Especially for this one, it requires to use me Photoshop and a lot of photo manipulation. So I will show you the process. Um, makita ko screen. Okay. So this one requires Photoshop. So I think this project was my first big project in Upwork. Uh, I remember this reading the job post, and then I know that I can do the job and I can finish it excellently. So I gambled, though I remember that I still need to have feedbacks and maybe propose a lower budget. I gambled. I think I added $35 per hour on that project, and luckily I got the job. If you are confident that you can finish the job, then ask for a bigger price. I'll show you the other projects that I have. So that project was for this. Uh, and then this one. So right now, I'm working with agencies in Upwork. I like to work with them because it gives me different type of projects I want to explore on different industries. So continue to this one, and then this one. So if you have some questions, just uh, type it in so I can answer your questions. I want it to be interactive. So I am using Figma on creating my websites. I mean, user interfaces. So if you are using Photoshop today for web design, you might want to upgrade and use Sketch, Figma, or Adobe XD. It's more customized for web design. So I think I can show you now how to create the. There's a question. I will show you how to create your website. This is gonna be quick. So remember, your portfolio is very important. You have to show them that you can do the job. So after creating the account in Webflow, you can create your first project. So this is free. You can use the domain of Webflow that would be under the domain. So you can select a template, either a blank. So they have a portfolio starter. So if you want to customize it, you can at least create your design on Figma and then put it here. So let's select this one. So voila, you have now your website. So basically, we can just edit this text. Hey there, I am a creative and web designer based in. So here you go. Um, this is very easy. You can change the logo. So let's try to publish this. Now you have a live website with your name and the description. And then you can also add your design samples here. So this left pane is for the layers or the sections of the HTML. So let's try to edit this image. This is very easy, guys. So let's upload this one. So without knowing HTML, you can have your portfolio. Loading. Now you have that. Let's publish it again. Publish. Then I'll post this link to the Zoom so you can see the live link. Refresh. Yeah. See that you have now a working portfolio website. So if you see this, if you click that one, you have like a designated page for that project. You can see that here on the pages. Project one. So let's rename it custom success. You can add your own project overview, edit this, publish it again.
Klase po seminar. Nag-seminar pa ko.
It's easy, right? So let's refresh this one. Let's go back to the click this. So now you have a website. Tell your mama. Mama, I made it. Any questions? I was not expecting this to finish just by 30 minutes. So let me explain to you what's the difference between online jobs and Upwork. So as I've said, I have already a high-paying job from online jobs. Then why I decided to go on Upwork. So online jobs, uh, there are a lot of jobs in that website, but you don't the your old clients cannot post feedbacks on your profile. So every time you apply and every interview, you have to prove yourself. Maybe they will ask you to design a website for free for free trial. So in Upwork, it's very advantage when they see that you have a lot of feedbacks. I will also show you my Upwork feed, and I'll explain to you uh, first why how to apply. What are the things that you need to check before applying? So first, before applying, just make sure that you can do the job, and then do not apply to all of the job posts and job interviews that you've received because Connects in Upworks is a little bit expensive. I think it's the membership fee is $15 per month. So use your Connects wisely. So check if they are verified. So like this one, uh, you can see my screen. This is not verified. So probably they are still processing their payment method. So for me, I will not apply for this one. And then also check if you are happy with the budget. So like this, This is verified, but if you're happy with $400, then go for it and check how many proposals this one that was already sent on this. So if it is less than 5 or 20, then it's good. You have a better chance. And then, so this one, check also the time. If it was posted 6 hours ago, then I would not recommend to apply on it. So this one, 2 hours, but still got 5 proposals. So this is a good one. You can apply it. So my upper profile is pretty young since I just started this pandemic. So this one, little bit big, but I'm verified. So always remember to check the project budget. So I will just show you how I negotiated my projects. So remember the rate times price, rate times time equals price. And then to also add the taxes, fees, and other deductions. So way back 8 years ago when I was invited to apply on a BPO company in Cebu, I was asked on what's my expected salary. So back then I don't know the strategies, techniques on how to price. So I did not know that we are also paying taxes and then we have field health and other deductions. So I just wanna, my goal back then was I just want to get hired in Cebu. Shout out to Sir Michael. So he interviewed me and I got hired. So my salary that time was because I was computing it. So I decided to price 13,000 times. I mean 13,000 per month. I was not expecting, or maybe I was dumb that time, that we have to pay taxes plus PhilHealth, pag-ibig. So gamay ra jud ang limpyo. Kahit isang tuka. So right now because of, so I will show you this and how I negotiate now my projects. So this this client was my first hourly client for $35 per hour. Then for our next project, he was asking me if we can do a fixed rate. So I asked them first. You have to ask the scope of the project, so you'll know how many pages. So I asked how many pages. Then I think it was just 8 projects. So basically in web design, the home page is the most difficult one. So after you created the home page, basically you can just copy paste the other pages just to structure it. So then I calculated my hourly rate. So I estimated it 24 hours. So I also added some margins. Let me show that to you. So like this, uh, this project, so this is my estimate. So home is, I can finish that by 2 to 3 hours, but again, I've added a margin. So for the collection and the other pages, I know that I can finish that in an hour. So again, I've added a margin. So the total was 25 hours. You compute that with your current rate, then I got $800. Uh, but remember that the client might negotiate your price. So next one. So he was asking me if I can do that in 10 days or less. I said yes. So the negotiation was $600. We closed it in 700. So always remember to add margins on your prices and do not be afraid to price as long as you're confident that you can finish the job.
Okay, Sir Jai, atong mga questions. A question from Mark Stanley Gonzaga. Ask lang sir kung ang site for making website is secured for hackers. Kung trusted siya na site para maghimo og website for free.
So I will answer that by I'm not going to be technical on this one, so because I'm not really a programmer, but a lot of websites now are using Webflow. There's a big what you call that community on Webflow that are also big companies that are using Webflow. So maybe I will advise if you're making a big budget project, then don't use the free website because it's for the free projects that you have. For big projects, maybe you can add the enterprise. They have an enterprise package, I guess.
Okay, second question is again from Mark Stanley. Aside sa Webflow, Sir Ian, what other site na pwede maghimo sa portfolio for free?
So right now I'm just using Webflow. Before this is uh, my website. So I think there are a lot of websites aside from Webflow. So ito nga lang. Let's, Wix. You can also create there, but I cannot talk about it because I have no experience on that. So I can just recommend Webflow and also WordPress, but I'm not sure if you can host your website there for free.
Now be aware also that being a freelancer does not free you from the obligation of paying taxes. The difference is that you will be the one to pay to BIR, unlike when employed, where the tax is deducted from salary. To pay taxes is an obligation of being a citizen of the Philippines. So reminders dyan sa mga freelancers. Another question from Paul Gunn. Good AM, Sir Ian. Aside sa Webflow, gamit nimo for web design, what other site or application you're using? Can we know if that's okay?
So let me be clear, no? Webflow is just for hosting my website. I'm using Figma for designing my websites, the user interface. So the application is Figma. Before I was using Photoshop and then Sketch, and then now Figma because maka-collaborate mo sa other people mas dali. Maka-live collaborate mo with developers and other designers. So much better siya. So mao na mag-recommend ko nga magamit mo Figma for web design and mas na-customize siya for web design. Photoshop has a lot of functions that are not necessary for web design. And then bugat siya. So Figma, you can use Figma. The URL is figma.com. Uh, you can use your browser. So let me show you Figma. I will share my screen. Just keep sending questions ha para matubag lang nako. Basig na may mga pangutana sa Upwork, sa kuan. I wanted to share my journey on Upwork since I just started this February. And then a lot of people na nag-start karon sa February lang tungod kay pandemic. May questions? So, again, you need to select the size here. So, na question on how to download Figma. If you can see my screen, I will. Okay, I will just add the link here. This is a website. You can download the application or you can just use your browser. So let me show you. Figma.com. Here, you can use the browser. So we can a banner. So mas lighter siya sa compared sa Photoshop nya vector base siya. So kung imong i-compare sa Photoshop kani kung nagamit ka og Mac, if you are using Mac and then you have a retina display, if magamit ka sa Photoshop, imong Photoshop maglibog sa retina display, so you have to view it I think 200% para makita ang iyang exact size compared sa Figma dili. Mo siya iyang exact ay vector base. You see the vector. So let's try to create a basic website. So you can also view the live preview of your website here. So, much easier siya i-design kay makita nimo ang real-time pixel sa imong design. So, makita nimo kung sobra ra ba kadako or sobra ka gamay ang imong mga text. Try to add a background.
Download AUB Hello Money at Google Play
Download
Store.
every money at
Hello Money. It's one word.
okay. So,
Sir, user
dara, unexpected ni nga kuan, pero I'll show you my normal process. So, like this one, di kalit-kalit lang ka istorya nga mag website. So, as a designer, you have to do your research and then you have to ask your client what are the expectations and the goals. So, dapat as a designer, imong interview ng imong client unsay yang goal, unsay yang expectation kay. If diretso lang kag imong website without asking a lot of questions, maybe you're doing it for yourself, not for his business. That's why you need to ask him a lot. So I see a lot of new designers from Facebook groups na i-blame nila ang client, especially for pricing, because they get a lot of offers like logo designs, and then the client will offer them 500 pesos. So if you are offered 500 pesos for a logo design and then you're not happy with that, just don't accept it. It's not your client's fault. Maybe that's their budget. So remember, know your worth. If really worth it ang project, don't accept it. Don't treat them as your enemy, because that was my mindset before. Every time when I changes as a young designer, murag maglagot ka kay nga ngani. But imo da itong sayop kay dili ka mangutana og mga questions. Nganong dili sila ganahan sa website. Maybe they just want to change the colors, but dili ma-express pagtarong ang ilang gusto kay dili sila kuan kabalo sa design language, or di nila matarong pa-express kay mga businessman sila. So before makayong kag sa man mga tao ano, pero dili day ang wrong kay ikaw kay dili ka mangutana about sa ila. Imagine they are CEOs of big companies, tapos para nimo murag kuan na sila kay di sila kabalo mo pili design. So that was me before. So now I'm a little bit better in communicating. So first, you also need to use their color, the branding of or your client. So just this. So, share sa na ko no, dili hindrance kung dili ka mo maka-identify of colors, because ako mismo dili ko ka identify of colors. Every time nga na ako'y makita nga new color, I have to ask my daughter what's the color. Wag na ako'y color blindness sa red and green, but that's not a hindrance. And then you also need to use their font. Questions lang ha while nag-design kay para makuha nato.
Matter.
So,
Dala ha.
Avenir. So let's check if natay Avenir na font. Avenir.
May question from Arnold Magalona. how about on web hosting, sir? Can you recommend us of the website hosting you are using?
Can I recommend?
A website na hosting na ginagamit mo. Nagagamit pa ka sa pag-design?
So, kung you're talking about the portfolio that I have, uh, hosted na siya sa Webflow. So, kung sana ka if kung I can recommend, I think that can be answered by our president, Eric Levi. Maybe he can use your camera.
I know your na question, sir. How about on web hosting, sir? Can you recommend us of the web hosting, website hosting you are using?
Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, clear.
All right. So for web hosting here in the Philippines, I would personally recommend using one-on-one or ionos.com. You go to ionos.com. That's ionos.com. They provide uh, cheap shared hosting. Remember, when I say shared hosting, that means that from a single computer, you're just another user of that particular VPS or a virtual private server. So there are three types of server. There is a dedicated server, a virtual private server, and also a shared server, a shared hosting. So if you just run your own blog or a simple company website, you go to ionos.com, create a shared account. But if you're a much larger scale of website, you can use the actual VPS version of it and or a dedicated version. But if you're running a whole application, a whole system, I would suggest to go to other web hosting provider like AWS, Lino.com, so and DigitalOcean or something like that. So I guess that's all. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Sir Eric, for answering Mr. Arnold's question. So another question, sir. What is the advantage of using Figma over Adobe Photoshop?
So, what are the advantage of Figma and in Photoshop? So, mura sila apple ug orange, no? Laylay sila lasa, laylay sila function. So, Photoshop, from the word itself, photo, it was created for photo editing. So, if you have heard about Adobe XD, separate na nila ang web design sa Photoshop because murag later na nila na-realize na dapat sila mag-create og ilang designated app for web design. But I still see a lot of designers using Photoshop. So, kung i-compared na to ang share my screen. Sakit akong i-compare na to ang Photoshop ug Figma side by side. Sige, nakita ka bugat. Ang Figma, ang Photoshop, you cannot open it using your browser. So, probably, wala kay laptop. Wala mo ka sa imong barkada. Kaniya, di-contact ka balik sa imong kliyente kaya kailangan niya og changes. And then, wala ka sa imong laptop. So, if you are using Figma, you can just log in your account sa browser and then you can make the changes. You can access it anywhere. Unlike sa Photoshop, kailangan magdala-dala ng file, tapos bugat pa siya. So, if you can see my screen, kanina mga tools, dili ni siya magamit sa web design. You don't need magic wand, lasso, or other tools like content aware because basic ang web design. You just need to create shapes to create a design like this. This is the rectangle shape I'm using. Rectangle and other vector vector tools. Yeah, it is just a matter on how you will structure your website. And then what else? I can see. So isa to no, bugat siya. Dagan siya yung mga unnecessary na mga tools nga dili na magamit sa web design. Kaning mga filter. Usually, di naman ka magamit na ni sa web design. So, if you want to edit your photos, like what I did sa katong akong projects sa custom sauces, you can use Photoshop and then import that design in Figma. Let me show you this. So, nindot ang naming convention, no? Copy to dito. Let me find the PSD. I think this one. So, bantay mo, bukat na kayo siya. Okay. So, ay kanina lang. Example, gusto ko mag-create o custom na ko nga banner. So, this one I created in Photoshop. Let me try to dissect this one. Okay. Started with the background. I think this background is a bonfire. This is a bonfire. Okay, bonfire ka na. So, custom na siya mag-create. And then, we want to add a stage. And then, ano yung nakalisod kung di nimo tarong kung pag-rename ang una file name. Kaya di na nimo siya matrace kung asa siya. So I think that's is for Photoshop is for photo editing and then Figma is for web design. So dagan sa siya advantage. So kung mag-create kag web create kag and then you can also, like I said, you can also view this one on your browser on real time. And then you can easily share the link to your client. This one. See? So mas dali siya din na katong mag-send pag mga JPEG o sa din na kung naka-i-update real time, ma-update sa ila. So mas sayon siya. Unya, ang Figma is free. Ang Photoshop you have to pay for it. And it's a little bit expensive. So I think that's the basic advantage sa Figma o Kwan. So Photoshop.
Okay.
So last. Pakita na ako ang katong akong display na vector. bantay mo mo yung pinaka-major nga kuan, major nga sakit sa Figma. So kung atin yung i-drag diri yan, ano lang, okay. So kani, nag-pixelate siya compared diri, dili. So kay nga na maka this yung pixel imong ingani yung may mga half pixels. So that one. So let's continue on designing our new client. AUB Solidarity. Okay. So, nagkuha na to ang iyang image dito sa kuan. Let's just say nga paano siya kanang landing page. Okay? Then let's add some mga shadows, no? Ito lang po.
While nag-design ka?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So, another question, sir, from Ricardo Abarin. Good morning. I am not an expert in web design. I just want to make it as my pullback trade the moment I will retire. I will appreciate it if you can share to me various sites to educate further as a beginner and have personal practice during my lifetime. Other than Figma.com, can you share other choices?
So right now after the seminars, we are planning to create a YouTube channel. Sa dito nga channel, we will upload a lot of educational videos about our job, our so sa mga programmers, sa designers, we can use here. From there, we will start to upload a lot of content. And then you can also search other websites like in YouTube. I just learned these skills using YouTube University. So, so you can see, Figma, gabi lang siya ka-basic. So, mao ni sa design industry. Designing is subjective. So, lahi-lahi siya sa lahi-lahi nga tao. So, probably your client one wants a bigger font. Your other clients doesn't want big fonts. That's why you need to ask them a lot of questions. And then you also have to use quiz para magamit nimo sa development, magamit sa responsive design.
Okay, so another question. Aside from Mark Anthony Rosas, I have a question, Sir Ian. Aside sa Photoshop, is Adobe Illustrator compatible for web design or for logo lang ang Illustrator?
So wala pa ko nakatry mag-create og website sa Illustrator, but I see a lot of people using the application too. So dili ba siya compatible as long as you create basic shapes, text, and then maka-export ka, it's okay. It's just a matter of are you using the right tool? So just like building a house, can I use stone para magdukduk sa martilyo? Yes, you can. But effective ba siya? Mas kamakag long term sa bato. So para sa ako, dili. So magamit kag right tools like martilyo or unsa din na imong gamit. That's it. Next.
Okay. So another question from Arwin. Sir, saan site kayo kumukuha ng mga images? May alam po ba kayo na free site or galing kay customer lahat ng mga files kung magpa-design sila ng website? I mean yung mga images.
So for the images, you can use free images in Unsplash.com. And then
Choppy, choppy. Medyo choppy.
Cha- Sabi?
Oh. Choppy, choppy.
Pandemic na anong nasabi? Sabi dito daan. So you can use Pexels and Figma. Pexels and Unsplash. So, free. Yan ha, copy data. Test. Okay na? Test 1, 2. Okay na? Test 1, 2. So, kani sir, pwede ka diri makakita og mga photos na for free. But most of the time, ang ginagamit na mga images kay katong mga premium. So usually, ang client mag-provide ana. Kahit di sila maka-provide, shout out to uh, uh, other premiums like so like this one for this project, ang kliyente na siya access sa Adobe Stock. So I will just send him the link and then he will download it. But that is a good question, no? Kay isa sa makanindot sa imong website is choosing the right even kung nindot ng imong design, ang structure sa tanan, ang colors tanan pero nagamit kag mga low quality mo pangit like this. So maka-download ka anig preview with the watermark. Then here you can also search for stock images. Ang katong pixels, free ko siya. Unsplash. Next.
Another question from Polygon. Pakimute sa imo, sir. You mean only Figma you're using in making a website, or is there other application like WordPress?
Thank you sa question, sir. No, that's a good question. So, am I only using Figma for making websites? So, I think WordPress is for building the actual site. For Figma, you will be designing it for mock-up. So, the process is this. First, I will create the design here because you need to create the design first in Figma. It's like a prototype. I will share you the development process. So the development process is from Figma. Then this will be sent to the developer. So it depends kung magamit sila o unsa nga platform. So like sa inyong pangutana, sir, WordPress. So sa ako, dili lang ko kutob sa design nga stage. Then depende na sa project kung asa siya butang sa WordPress ba or dili. So ang Figma is more likely nga prototype, mag-drawing sa imong plano sa balay. So like kung maghimo kag building, dili man pwede nga magdiretso kapag build ko building without plan. Kay mo naggasto kag kwa tapos pagpakita nimo sa kliyente, dili dai siya ganahan nagtuwad man ang pertahan. So kailangan nato mag-design sa Figma para makita dayon dire kung unsay mga errors or unsay dili ganahan sa imong kliyente. So kung imong kliyente dili ganahan o kaning design. So ma-change pa siya compared sa madiretso na siya sa live site like sa WordPress katong imong gingon. Although ma-change siya pero mo take nag time kay kailangan sa ninyo adto ng developer ana unya like naida ko nga major changes like kanid siya gana ni diri nga part. So mas lisod so mas paan ko ang Figma. So ang development wag na siya yung mga phases. First sa kuan sa design and then sa kuan. So like sa design sa ako before ko mag-kuan usually mag-create me o wireframe. So for me the importance of wireframe is before pa ka mag-spend of time finding the right colors, the right text, tanan-tanan, mag-drawing sa kag magbalay-balay niya. So like this. Mo na yung pinaka-basic nga. So you can discuss it with your client like here we need to add a banner. Here we need to add information about the product. So pwede na nimo siya drawing on. Pwede na nimo gamitan ng Photoshop kung gusto nimo. Like this. Gusto na ako nga na-tao diri tapos diri nga part mao na sad niya akong gusto. Murag ma-plan ninyo tarong before pa ka mag-spend ng time mangitag images, mangitag right color tanan-tanan. So mo na sa ako sa design phase mag-create sa kog wireframe. Plus kung mag-design ka og website, mas makakuha siya sa mas consistent ang imong website tungod kay giplano nimo sa daan kay sa designing it's normal nga murag maapektuhan ang imong design decisions every day labi na makita kag line website nakadamgo ka sa probably kapa pagkaugma na change ang imong plano kay kuan. So dire kung naka initial plan nga gusto nimo ingani or ingani consistent na dayon to dire sa imong kuan focus ka sa imong goal or target sa imong gusto kay mao naman to imong na plano daan mas consistent siya. So I think that's it.
Okay. Wait. Next question from source, I don't know. I can't pronounce the name right. Sir, pwede din po ba si Figma pang YouTube designs or banner?
Oo. Yeah, actually ang mag-design niya hapon is Jake. I will discuss about banners. I think he will be using Adobe XD or Figma for the banners. So if you are referring to YouTube, so daghan kay pwede magamitan din na like thumbnails, YouTube banners. So pwede ka magamit sa Figma as long na dili ka siya mo gamit o photo editing like this one, naka-cut out na siya. So kani kung gusto ka mag-cut out og tawo, dili siya ang Figma dili capable sa sa pag-cut out ng mga photos. So you need to use Photoshop for that.
So another question from Farah. What are the minimum computer or notebook specs so we could work efficiently as a web designer? Unsay suggested na sa processor? Core i3 okay na ba or need nan higher?
So depende sa imong job no, kung ang job nimo is web design lang, I think i3 is enough. So if you are a graphic designer nga kailangan og mga design nga complex nga moabot og at least 500 layers sa Photoshop, so at least magamit ka mga i7 nga taas na RAM. So my computer is, I think this is i7 for 16 gigabyte of RAM. So pag kung makabantay mo ganiya sa katong ipakita na ako sa custom sources, mag-log na siya tungod sa kadagan sa layers ato. So kung web design lang, kung Figma lang inyong gamiton, minimum lang siya, kay pwede ka nimo siya ma-open sa browser.
I think hanap pa ba yung questions na to? Roxy, wala na?
Hello.
Yes, yes sir.
Pwede bang utana?
Yeah, can you please mention your name? Na ako makita sir kung kinsay nag-istorya sa kuan.
Okay, good morning. I'm Paul Gan of Cebu
Apple
City.
gun. Okay sir.
May question ako, Sir Ayan. Bali, kadang sa pigma ni mo na nabuhat, pwede na siya diretso o ma-upload o ma-publish na dayon into .com or diba, naman siya extension na sa to, o diretso na ko .com, magbayad tan.
So, thank you sa imong question, sir. So, that is a good question. So, like I've said, sa development, sa web design, so this one, this is just mock-up, murag, katong gingon ako nga murag, drawing gani sa imong, kuan, sa imong website, sa imong gusto, mahitabo sa imong website. So, for you to see this sa katong live site, sa .com or kuan, you need to convert this one. So you need to export these images and then put it on the platform that you decided to use. So like sa ako, atong gipakita ganiha nga kan kaning webflow nga nang sila template daan, pwede nga kanito na lang ta. Pero if you are using Figma, murag sa drawing pa lang ni siya. Kanang dili pa ni siya directly nga may mong website, kailangan pa na sa next process ani. So that's where mag-need na ta og developer, programmer para mag-convert sa atong website.
Follow up, sir.
That's okay, sure sir.
Bali, katong dito sa Webflow, naka-template na dito. That's the time na pwede na siya dito na
Yes sir, template.
Bali, diretso na dito sa Webflow pag ma-set na nimo tanan. After there is a Figma, di ba?
Yes sir, yes. Sakto sir. So, mura na siya kuan kanang design sa imong plan sa kuan imong website. Kanon sa ninyo dire kung say kuan kung like sa maghimo mo website tapos dili webflow, ang webflow kay murag mas sayon-sayon ni siya kay drag and drop na lang man kani gusto niyo mag-add image kuan. So ang uban technology nga mas complicated, i-code ni nila usa-usa like ini i-code ini ani mga line code. So kung mag-code ta ani tapos dili day gusto imong kliyente nga nag-spend na kag 1 week mag-code sa website, kunya pagpakita nimo sa kliyente kay dili day siya ganahan kay nganong ingani ang color tanan-tanan. So masayang ang imong time nga na-spend ato nga pan. So kailangan nato nga i-design siya sa kaning Figma or other applications.
Pwede pa, sir.
Yeah, sige sir, dayon na sir, padayon na.
Sa mukha na ko kayo, sir, ha?
Okay lang sir.
Okay. Bali, dito sa Webflow, di ba, nasa ang AJ extension is website.webflow.com, nasa webflow.com after nimo pag-upload or publish?
Yes, sir.
So, pwede na nato siya i-add to sa usa ka domain or hosting para ma.com na siya. Pwede na.
Yes, sir. Kanang kung nakakay kaugalingon nimong domain, so nakay options diri nga imo siyang i-send sa imong custom nga domain. So, kung gusto nimo nga hosted na nimo siya for free, you can use the Webflow nga domain. Under lang mo siya sa Webflow nga domain or type of marketing nila. So, para sa ako, I think, dili na siya hindrance nga kuan. Although na ko'y domain sa una, kaso, murag, para na ako, basig, murag too much siya nga cost, kay magdako-dako ang bayaran nimo every year nga ma-renew to siya. So, gamit na lang ko Webflow kay ang goal lang man ako sa akong portfolio is makita lang akong website, which is this one. So, just share it. So, this one. So, akong goal is ipakita lang nga kabalo ko maghimo website nga na ako website. So, manong kas pa ko kwarta kung mora man di akong gusto. Although nindot sa siya paminahon nga walay webflow.io, pero okay ra sad kay at least makita nila kung unsa ay akong trabaho. Pero pwede kayo nga imo siyang i-redirect sa imong kaugalingong domain. Questions pa, sir?
Okay, sir. Bali, ang sa Webflow, pwede na nimo using the Webflow na domain. Pwede ra.
Sir, nag-choppy ka, sir, mo. Wala kayo na ako rin. Okay, otro ko na, sir, palihog, sir.
Dito sa Webflow ba? May copy? Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Okay na ba? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay na, sir. Okay na.
Okay na ba audio? 1, 2, 3, okay. So,
Yes,
bali
sir, okay.
dito sa Webflow, as your domain, pwede na siya nato gamiton as domain kung mag-ipa.com na nato or okay ra ba na sa
sir.
Webflow?
Pwede
or
kayo.
Customize yung tag domain.
Pwede kayo, sir. Magpakita ko pa na samples nila. Naselect ako ang community nga nga mga websites niya na gamit sa Webflow. Nga ilan ang domain ng ilang gigamit. So, like, dire, pwede ka makaselect og template nga imong gusto, tapos drag and drop na lang mo dito sa imo. Itaon sa nato ang kuan ha. Pero pwede kayo siya, sir, nga kuan, gamit kayo mong kaugalingong domain sa Webflow. Kalimot ko sa itong link, sir, pero nato siya iba nga kuan. Okay. Okay, kani. I-create niya siya sa Webflow. So, nasa siya options na kung gusto nimo i-clone ang kanang website, pwede mo i-clone. Pero, depende sa website owner kung i-allow niya nga ma-clone ang iyang website. So, questions pa, sir?
Okay, sir. After nimo nahimo sa Webflow, example moingon ang imong client nga gusto nako na siya i.com. Unsay paagi ana or unay say buhaton ato ana, sir? Asa minimo i-direct?
So, kuan, sir. Kanang first magpalit ka og imong domain. Unya, nasa settings nga gusto nimo siya redirect sa imong kuan, sa imong domain nga imong napalit. Ana diri sa settings. Ito na ako mga project. So, diri, nakabantay ka na naka-disable siya. Kaya kailangan ako kailangan mo magpalit gani og kani para ma-create ka imong kagaliwan na connect to your domain kani diri sir. So another question.
Dollar gyud na sir, wala piso pangmasa.
Sir,
Mark Anthony Rosas. Do we really need to buy the application like Adobe products or pwede rak application pag nag-make ka ng portfolio or website?
so I'll be honest no. Wala di ko sukat-sukat nga nakapalit og kuan crack. I mean paid nga Adobe products although bawal dyan na siya sa atong industry dili na mo gina-promote na magamit kag Adobe products but kung maunay way para maka-create ka og imong kuan trabaho then do it at your own risk. Pero dili na mo gina-promote magamit ka og kaning kuan. So mostly sa professional nga kuan na mga clients nga mag-provide sa imo og paid nga accounts sa Adobe.
Another question from Arwin. Sir Eric. Sir, tama po ba? Tama po ba? Pagkaintindi ko sa tanong ni Sir Paul na gusto niya i-live yung website ni customer sa .com domain, pwedeng gamitin yung Ionos? Sir Eric.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Yes, that's correct. So, kung gusto niyo mag-live ng website, you need a hosting provider for you to do that para imong website is available sa tanan. So, you provide domain. That's different. So, I just want to be clear. So, in Ionos, there's two ways you can do. You can purchase domain along with the shared hosting, or you can purchase domain on other domain provider. Pero sa Ionos, so far they have package na you get shared hosting along with the domain na imong gipili. So yes, that's correct.